You are delusional if you expect a repeat of Osun poll. Rufai Osun. Arise television presenter Rufai Osun has warned Nigerians against assuming that the outcome of the Osun governorship election will be easily replicated during the 2027 general election. We know. Osun said the political forces that failed to influence the Osun contest could return with a stronger strategy and greater deployment of what we describe as federal might in 2027. Speaking on Monday, the broadcaster said his warnings before the Osun election were intended to prepare voters for possible dangers rather than frighten them. According to him, Osun residents understood the risk surrounding the election and were consequently better prepared to defend their votes. They were really prepared. Osun State really came all out. Osun cautioned Nigerians against following complacent following Governor Ademola Adeleke's victory. If you think because Osun people stood up, it will be easy in 2027, you are foolish. You are delusional, he declared. He predicted that those who failed to achieve their objective in Osun would return to the drawing board and attempt to perfect their strategy ahead of the general election. And as they are perfecting their strategy, Nigerians still are perfecting their strategy. Osun further claimed that the level of federal influence witnessed in the Osun could be deployed 3 times over. We know they will try. We know that they are going to try all means to make sure that they are the ones that win. But God pass all of them. The Independent National Electoral Commission on Sunday declared the validity of their court party winner of Saturday's Osun governorship election. Okay? No wahala. Oliver Talk says, before saying you are free to write anything, say anything about the presidency to make no difference. It is written very clear in the world that Nigeria wants Tinubu to continue. Which Nigerians want Tinubu to continue? Because of his progressive policies. Now so, therefore, saying let it be known that to you that Nigeria will re-elect the president next January. Already, the president has about 1 million votes in Osun as Governor Adeleke promises to deliver the state to him. Adeleke 511 votes and Oyebamiji of APC 444,000 votes are there for the president. Okay now. At Okoye's Edwin says, only the negative people will hate Rufai anytime he speaks. He's only telling us that the presidential election will be different from that of Osun, and it's the truth. Many people don't understand the principle of allow them minor victory, but deny them the major victory. And they could never play fair for the presidential election. If they do, then Tinubu will lose. When APC rigged the result, they will say they lost in Osun, so why they cry? Watch out. Lamidi Kekere says, God is mightier than anyone. Bonnie says, election in 2027 will break up Nigeria. Mark my words. Tiko says, when your scatterbrain Momo go end safe, I don't understand. Who is Momo? You gallibly predicted on your Arise TV that Osun election will be bloody, but not even a single death occurred on voting day. Who told you that? People actually lost their lives. Austin, he says, and Rufai forget saying that delusional beings populate this country. Senior says, saying you're perfectly correct. Nigeria should prepare to take back their country. Patrick says, on point, Mr. Rufai, their APC machinery positioned for blackmail, coaxing, intimidation, and shenanigans are too clear for us here to comprehend. Oseni, you are a legend. Felix Oremo says, I totally agree with you, Mr. Rufai. Mr. President may not be interested in who wins in Osun State because whether head or tails, Osun State is for Tinubu. Kamal says, Adeleke had over 500,000 votes and APC had over 400,000 votes, and the two parties will work for President Tinubu in 2027. Is the article will be that will defeat Tinubu in Osun State in the election? I just don't understand how Rufai was saying things because Tinubu will beat all of them hands down. Oh, let's see how that will go in 2027. Alex okay says, you're absolutely right, Mr. Seni, but remember, my brother, no human being can battle with God Almighty. If people like Abacha, IBB, Gaddafi, Saddam, Idi Amin, Mobutu, Mugabe, and recently Ayatollah could leave power behind, now who is the everlasting monkey? Audu says the best form is to let them know that power belongs to them. As 2027 general election is to cure Nigeria from poverty, kidnapping, hunger, as they do not know tribe, religion. It is to let the people be prepared that they are more in numbers than the NAS members singing on your mandate. For better lives, the people must reject all intimidations from them, the police and other government forces, as all of us are the ones feeling the pains of all this maladministration. Let the government continue taxing. Adbonze says Nigerians are prepared to unseat President Tinubu. If they like, let them deploy US Army on Nigerians. We are ready to vote and defend our votes. We are wiser now. All APC leaders and those benefiting from them are free to vote APC, but they are not more than the masses. We are only going to suffer and starve for another 4 months, and in January 2027, we will change the narrative. I hope. Stanley says we can always replicate it at the federal level, Rufai. I pray. Terita says Rufai is saying the truth, because that means people should be better prepared and ready to fight it out by planning their own strategies too. Don't trust the court. Emeka Eli says most people won't follow Tinubu in Takoma. John says very true. I like your instinct. Pascal says good advice. That means we should be prepared. Yes, so very prepared. Very, very prepared, because as they are now, I'm sure they're already strategizing on the things that they will do and how to rig election and everything. I feel like I can understand the Senate very well, because they will check where they made mistakes and strategize, but I assure you it won't be easy for them, because they will face 37 states of the Federation where every of them that troop to Osun will mind their state. Okay. Oguni says, so Rufai thinks he's positing something uncommon. It means he's a chief scholar. How is he a chief scholar? How? BMC election tells Nigerian leaders their capability in performing their rights by 2027 coming election. Benga says, who doesn't know that the way you break a plate is not the same way to break a calabash? Every election is unique. Rebel says, God bless you, Rufai. This is just the truth. Jonathan says, please tell them. Anthony says, I think Oseni Rufai is always ahead of what will happen next. Thanks, because really they will be preparing better, 3 times better than how they prepared for Osun election, and that's just the truth. Onwa says, then God will double his angelic might to stop them once again. It is God all the way. My listeners, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.